Our first date, we were supposed to go to a bar, and I was, parked at the street, and I got out of my car and I walked, and I was like tousling my hair and like pulling up my pants, and I looked up and he was standing at the sidewalk watching me do all of this. So we actually went to a little Italian place for pizza and drank a bottle of wine and wound up closing the restaurant, and then went next door to another little bar and closed that little bar. And at the end of the night, he gave me this hug, and he said to me later that I let out this little sigh, like I didn't want him to let me go. And I said, I didn't. And he said, at that moment that he knew either going to be his wife or I was going to kill him in his sleep. And I said, I'm not going to kill you. But on our first date, we knew. On our first date, we talked about going to Italy. So 10 years ago, I had cut out a little article about going to the Amalfi Coast in a magazine, and I put it in a folder, and I thought, that it would be the most romantic place to go. So when I went to Italy for the first time by myself, I could go anywhere I wanted, so I went to Rome, and I found all these beautiful places, and then I went to Sardinia and I went to Milan, and I always wanted to go to Amalfi, and I didn't go. I wanted to wait and go with my person. I wanted to wait until I met my husband, and I wanted to go to Italy with my husband. And so I didn't go because I hadn't met him yet. And then on our first date, when we talked about Italy, I thought, this is my husband. This is my person. So here we are in Italy, getting married.
We had just met. I was holding a big party for a bunch of friends, and I was getting a lot of people together, about 20 or so people together, good friends of mine, and we were having a big cookout, basically, with a pizza oven. And I learned on our first date that she was a chef, and I was a little hesitant to invite her to something that quickly, but I thought it would be pretty cool because she was a chef, and it was a cookout where there was a pizza oven involved, and we were teaching people how to cook pizza. My mom is a chef as well, and we were going to be teaching a lot during the dinner. And so I invited her, and she said yes, and she was very excited. And
it was the
second date
time we ever saw each other.
And she got to meet my parents and all my really good friends right away. Second date, yeah. He was so nervous. We'd actually gotten in a bit of a fight before, about a week before, because we had been together and we had been through so many hard things, and I thought, it was silly to still be his girlfriend, that I wanted to be his wife. And he asked me, he's like, what would change? And I said, everything. I would be your wife. And I didn't know that he already had a ring, that he was already waiting to propose. He already was, it was already happening, and I didn't know. So I was, pouting, like maybe we would get married one day, and little did I know that he already had it set up. So when he asked me to marry him, he asked me two things. Will you marry me, and can we get married in Italy? I said yes and yes. You texted your best friend the next day. What was that all about?
Day after our first date, Robin texted me, our best friend, my best friend, and she told me that she had a dream that I was getting married, and that she was doing my makeup, and that I couldn't sit still, and I was so excited. And so I texted back, oh, I met my husband last night. And she was like, what? And I said, yeah. It was our first date, but I'm pretty sure he's my husband. She's like, really? That first date, I knew. And it's funny because now we talk about that and I have the text messages. So I have proof that that I knew.
True.
Yeah. And then you were in he flew to San Francisco and went out to dinner, right, with your Australian friend?
Good.
Yeah. And didn't you tell them
Yeah, I had said the exact same thing, that we would get married.
Oh, and the third date. Our third date, we went to this little Italian place called Macalina's. Yeah.
Yeah.
In South Beach.
Yeah.
South Beach in Miami. We went to Macalina's with a little corner table. And that was like the best date of my life. That was when I knew that I loved you. I remember us talking about that. We still talk about that.
Yeah.
When you went to Capri.
There was I remember we had dinner at a very beautiful hotel, and I remember thinking that I'd like to have my honeymoon there.
That was the most romantic place.
Yes.
And then we lived happily ever after.
My best and I fall obsessed in all its memory.
So Taylor, will you be honest with her always? Will you stand by her through whatever may come?
I will.
And you, Megan, you have chosen Taylor to be your husband. Will you love and respect him? Will you be honest with him always? Will you stand by him through whatever may come?
I will.
May I remind you that saying your vows is one thing, but nothing is more challenging than living them day by day. And what you promise today must be renewed tomorrow and each day that stretches out before you.
I, Taylor, take you, Megan, to be my lawfully wedded wife, says husband. Sorry. You are not the air that I breathe. You are the sweet scent that drifts upon it. You are not the sounds that I hear. You are the music of my life. You are not the food that I need. You are the nourishment of my soul. You are not my will to survive. You are my reason for living. It is with you that I experience the wonders of the world. It is with you that I triumph over the challenges in my path. It is your partnership that will lead me to the fulfillment of my dreams. It is your friendship that guides me as I grow and learn. It is your patience and wisdom that calms my restless nature. It is through you that I know my true self. I do not take you for granted. I cherish you. I do not need you. I choose you. I choose you today in witness of all the people who love us. I choose you tomorrow in the privacy of our hearts. I choose you in strength and weakness. I choose you in health and sickness. I choose you in joy and sorrow. I will choose you over all others every day for all days of my life.
I, Megan, take you, Taylor, to be my lawful wedded husband. You are not the air that I breathe. You are the sweet scent that drifts upon it. You are not the sounds that I hear. You are the music of my life. You are not the food that I need. You are the nourishment of my soul. You are not my will to survive. You are my reason for living. It is with you that I experience the wonders of the world. It is with you that I triumph over the challenges in my path. It is your partnership that will lead me to the fulfillment of my dreams. It is your friendship that guides me as I grow and learn. It is your patience and wisdom that calms my restless nature. It is through you that I know my true self. I do not take for granted. I cherish you. I do not need you. I choose you. I choose you today and witness of all the people who love us. I choose you tomorrow in the privacy of our hearts. I choose you in strength and weakness. I choose you in health and sickness. I choose you in joy and sorrow. I will choose you over all others every day for all the days of my life.
The photo is a perfect figure, without beginning, without end, with no area of weaknesses, signifying the continuation of true love. It is a symbol of the cycle of life. As a ring has no end, neither shall your love for each other. These rings are seamless circles of joy, symbolizing the love that lives deep within your heart and soul.
This ring I give to you as a symbol of our love and of the promises
I've spoken to you on this day.
I've spoken to you on this day.
This ring I give to you is a symbol of our love and of the
I've
promises
spoken to you on this
I've
day.
spoken to you on this day.
Taylor and Megan, on this day in Italy, you have exchanged promises, symbolized your love, and proclaimed your commitment to one another. There's a well-known saying, Rome wasn't built in a day. So Taylor and Megan, it's with great pleasure that now declare you husband and wife, and you may kiss your beautiful. Congratulations.
Ma siete inglesi o italiani?
English.
English, for where? From where?
Miami.
Miami, oh, we are from here. Madeline, from Romania. Romania.
Romania, Maria.
Be God with you. And Mary, a lot of blessings.
I wash away in your river of gold. I'm losing days on this bending road. I'm lost in the water. Your light is my soul. I'm searching for answers, 'cause all I know is I'm losing hope. Bathing in sunshine, lost in space, waiting for your sign to set me straight. Where do I go from here? When will this road see through? Bathing in sunshine, lost in space, waiting for your sign to set me straight. Where do I go from here? When will this road see through? I'm bathing in sunshine. wanna treat you better. I just wanna treat you better. I just wanna treat
È vero, è molto vero. Sì, è fatto. Lo faccio.